Good morning, y'all. This is Susan reporting here. I just want to talk about where I've been, where I'm going, where we are going because of where we've been. I want you to know that God is one true God above all humanity. I am not God. I'm not able to see all. I'm just able to report what I'm being told to report. I have limited vision because I'm not God. I'm just one daughter. And the Almighty is the all encompassing sum of everything, all encompassing one true God. And I'm just a fraction of the whole. And you are too, a fraction of the whole. I just want you to know that, well, this morning I had to wear this brace because last night my friend James picked me up, and I'm 47, not 17. But he was a cheerleader in college, and he was used to lifting up girls, and so he was lifting me up, but I was wearing the wrong shoes, and I landed fine on my feet, but my back is very sensitive to these things. And years ago, when I lived on Dove Lane, I had been, now I was not injured, just it was a little uncomfortable because I was wearing wedges, and I didn't land like with a cushion, so I told my friend James, I said, James, I don't mind if you pick me up, but just give me heads up because I'm 47, not 17. I said, give me heads up so that I'll be prepared and I can brace myself. And for the some reason, I like to wear belts, and I like to wear boots because I've always been one of those people who has sensitivities, and I need to be, I need to feel like I'm braced, somehow. I like my boots because they keep me up on my little tiptoes, but they're also very flexible, and I can flex my toes and I can bend, but it's potentially dangerous in the kitchen unless you're wearing those type of boots with that are non-slip. But I have a very specific style that I like, and I just wish that all boots across the board, all boots, because people wear boots in the winter. It rains in the winter or it snows in the winter time. People need non-slip shoes in the winter time. So for this reason, I believe that all boots should be non-slip. So this is why I do the kind of work I do. I volunteer because if I'm all over the place, then how can I be focused on one particular company? So I don't know. Whatever you want to make out of me, whatever you will, because you will, because you have to place people in a category. It's like you have to place people in your box, right? This is this type of person, type A personality, type B, and whatever. Type A personality is somebody who's anal retentive, which I am. I'm very much, or they call them OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. I'm not obsessive compulsive, but just a little bit. But I think we all should be, because we don't want to leave the stove on. We don't want to leave the door unlocked. We need to check things. When we're given medication, we have to give the right medication to the right patient at the right time, in the right dosage, through the right route. So you have to check, the 5 rights of medication, you have to check it 3 times. When you're picking up the medication, when you are writing it in your chart, and before you give it to the patient. You have to check it 3 times, the 5 rights. So this is why, we can't be saying, well, she's OCD or he's OCD. It's like, according to whose standards? So this is why God has lifted us up, so that we can all have a higher standard. And this is why Jesus was crucified, because when Jesus was lifted, while he was still on the cross, nailed to the cross, he was lifted, he was still alive and in pain. And he died in that position, upright. So he did not die while they were nailing him to the ground. He was lifted and he died in that upright position. And when he was raised from death, he was lifted up, up, up. So if you believe that you're part of the body of Christ, then you need to understand. Understand. Stand, because the truth stands. The problem lies in your heart, and the truth stands in your heart as well. So stand with courage and strength, and fear no man, no evil, fear God only. Stand like the Son of Man. So this is why I fear no man. When I met my friend James, he's tall. He's over 6 feet tall. And I just saw this handsome fella in front of me. But I was not in the mood for dating. I was not looking for a date. I was not looking for a sugar daddy. Because had I been looking for a sugar daddy, it would have been so easy for me to be with my friend Charlie. And my friend Charlie is a gentleman. I'm talking about old school, okay? I'm not saying that these new men are not gentlemen. No. What I'm saying is that old school, okay? Bringing flowers, paying for dinner, opening the door, all the way through. All the way through. Always complimenting me, offering me if I want to, I need assistance with groceries, need assistance with whatever it was. So had I been looking for a sugar daddy, it would have been so easy for me. But I wanted a friend in Charlie. I wanted a friend in Charlie because I didn't want to lose that friendship. And I don't. Charlie is a true gentleman, and he is a good man. And James is a good man. He's got a heart of gold. But there's a big difference because we're talking about different standards. Men back in the days had different standards, and this generation, following, they kind of lost their standards. So we have to talk about standards. But then again, back in the 50s and back in the 60s and 70s, they had a lot of stuff going on across the board. Our nations, as far as war. And they were fighting with war because they didn't understand that the solution stands in our hearts. But there were some peaceful people like Mahatma Gandhi and a lot of other peaceful people like John Lennon and a lot of musicians and writers and artists, and people were coming out, and then the hippie movement and all of that, anti-Vietnam War, and all of that was happening simultaneously. Women were going braless, then they were fighting for their reproductive rights, and then it's like, the rights of who? The rights of women or the rights of babies? Women have rights. You have the right to go without a bra if you want to. You have the right to go bare-chested if you want to in a photo. You have the right to be married or not. You have the right to go to work outside the home. You also have the right to work inside the home. You also have the right to stay at home with your children. you also have that right. Now, are you able to? That's the problem. The problem. Okay? But are you able to? If you're a single mom, you're head of household. But head of household is a man, according to the church. According to the church, which church? Catholic Church does not believe in birth control. Or do they? Okay? So, birth control is good. Abortion is not. Because that little being, the two become one. Two cells become one being. That was you. Many, 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 many years ago in the womb of your mother. Because of your father's sperm. Because by the grace of God, who gave us all. So if you were given that chance to live, give that baby the chance to live. Because it is not for you to give or take away. But when I was singing my song that came to me, see, the music came first, and I'm not a musician. Da 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 da. It sounds like a hymn or a national anthem or something. And I'm just like, what is this? And I started writing it down, and I'm not a musician. I'm a messenger, and this is the difference. I want you to know that I'm not delusional. I cannot play anything but the drums, but not like the drums, no, like in my car. Like, I've got rhythm, I think we all do. I like dancing, I like singing, but I don't have a voice. So let's try this morning. I haven't had my honey, and I haven't done my gargle with salt water. Let's see. I am glad to be in America, where at least we know we're free. And we won't forget the folks who fought and gave this right to us. And we gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt we love this land. God bless Jerusalem. Now, remember that Jerusalem, USA, is in the heart of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is a blueprint for all cities in all nations. We're supposed to be leading by example with our faith, not with war, because we fight evil with good, with love. Because our triangle is 3, the Trinity, but it's also 4. See, we were lifted up, up, up to the right. See, Paul head, not Peter head, no. We think with the head on the top of our body. Yes. So when this song came to me on Dove Lane, green is what she sees all day and night, y'all. Green is for rebirth and rebuild. Green is for renew and restore our society. That's the children. Green is for proactive love. Dove love. Artists predict the future as they paint and sculpt. As artists restore as they draw and they sketch. And then there's other stuff in there. And then ... The truth is black and white in all the colors in between the rainbow of love. I'm not gay, but God made all people. And if He made you gay or straight, then be. The verb to be. To be. To become one. To become one being. You were formed in your mother's womb. But we have been lifted up to the womb of his heart to understand that we are all different and unique, yet equally important parts of the whole. So whether you're black or white, or straight or gay, or legal or illegal, or Jew or Gentile, we are equally important parts of the whole, because we were lifted up to the right, gamma, okay? Up to the right, gamma, for the Greeks, the Gentiles. See, Paul was for the Gentiles, and Peter for the Jews. But Peter, Satan, is not chosen. He's rebuked. You know, when Joshua was lifted and he came before the angel of the Lord said, "The Lord rebuke you, Satan, the Lord who has chosen Jerusalem." So Jerusalem and Judah are one. Joshua and Jerusalem are one. Joseph and Ephraim are one. JJ equals J. Y equals J equals I, and I is 1 in Roman numbers. This is what Paul wanted to address these not only to the Romans, but also to Asia, all of Asia, because America and Asia, you begin with A and you end with A. And A, the last will be the first, and the first will be the last. So, Paul for the Gentiles, up to the right, gamma, okay? Gamma is 3, but 3 is 4 because this is delta. Delta time, okay? Delta is also Dalet, which looks like a 7, but it's really 4. So our transformation occurred between 3 and the 4, because 3 is 4 from the inside of he. We went up into he, into truth, and he in us simultaneously. So this is why the Gentiles will be the first, because this is the same from the inside. The Gentiles first, because it's like a mirror image. You draw close to God, he draws close to you. You are away from God, he's away. He's looking at us all the time. Okay, I knew this since I was a child, when I lived on the 4th floor in Panama City, Panama, in my mom's apartment. Okay, I got up one night and I was not scared of Freddy Krueger or scared of zombies that night. I just woke up like a brave little soldier, and I was just wanting to talk to God. I knew that God existed, but I wanted to know if he could hear me. I wanted him to show me a sign, and he did twice for me to tell you today. I'm not making this up. Okay, I was one of those children that was not afraid of, you know, I would just do some things that I would have just, I don't know what I would have done had I been my mother. I mean, my mom would whip me, okay? She would whip me hard. But I didn't do the stuff that I did to my godmother's mother, to my mom, because I knew I couldn't get away with it. Like, I couldn't walk around barefoot at my mom's house in her presence. She would step on my toes. She would step on any of our toes. She said that, you know, she didn't want our feet to be like wide, you know, so we had to wear tennis shoes and socks. And I mean, I just look at my feet. I have some really ugly feet, okay? Look at my toes, are very ugly. But anyway, but I was one of those child, you know, this children, and my hair was long and curly, right? Well, kind of like whatever it was, you know, because my hair is like whatever it wants to be. So, but it was always like, psst, you know, but in my mom's house, I couldn't do that. My mom would be like, you know, you need to brush your hair. She wouldn't brush it for me because she just didn't. She didn't like ever like braid my hair. She didn't like ever like, well, she did. She would wet it and put it in a ponytail like this, and she would make a little curlicue like that, and then another one over here like this, and then she would wet it in, you know, when it was wet and like that. And that's the way my hair was when I was a child. But when I would go to Mamita's house, my godmother's mother, and you know, it's like Mamita, Miguel, and Myrna. Myrna was my godmother, okay, and she is my godmother, and her mother and her stepfather helped raise me. So it was like 3M. Mamita, Miguel, and Myrna. And so, anyway, Mamita and Miguel were like my parents away from home, okay? And so, anyway, my hair was always like, psst. You know, at Mamita's, my feet were like black underneath from running around. My feet were literally like always black underneath from just going out there and running in bare feet. I loved it. I loved that freedom. But I was also a wild child, okay? I would like, she lived up on the second floor in Panama City, and I would hang over the balcony with most of my body hanging. Like, I had no fear. And people underneath would be like, ah! You know, like, oh, like the tourists, a lot of tourists from China and a lot of different American tourists walking by this area in Caledonia, because that's where my godmother's mother lived. And so they would be like, ah, you know, but a couple times this happened, a couple times. But by the grace of God, you know, by the grace of God, or I would do that in the window had no mesh. It had, the window, like on the second floor, was even higher than the balcony. And I would just, I mean, the bed was right there, and I would just climb. It was so easy, you know. I would just climb, and like half my body would be hanging out. And one time, the neighbor downstairs was like, "You stay right there. You stay right there." I mean, she was like, "Oh my God!" She had to come knock on the door or whatever. But you know, I mean, I was just like fearless. So I was like, you know, then I became afraid of heights as an adult, as a young adult. And I was like, I need to go skydiving so that I can lose fear of heights, because I need to lose fear of heights. And I mean, still today, I'm still afraid of heights. Like, I don't want children near any balcony, near any windows. And I don't want children like, you know, like that's no. I always check the windows when I live upstairs, you know, make sure it's locked, and there should be alarms by the windows for, you know, because children, have you ever seen those videos where kids, they're like twins, and it's like double trouble, because they'll like, one of them will get out, you know, with those little feet they have. That's how Alexander was. Alexander, like climbing through the gate. Alexander was just like me. Jacob was easy. Alexander was just like mama. Okay, this is why him and I were like, you know, I was like, oh my Lord, you know, Alexander had those little feet, like little monkey feet. I mean, he was like a little monkey. Okay, and that's the way some kids are. They're meant for climbing. Okay, so you've got to keep these kids busy all the time. They have to be busy. They have to be busy with activity. Otherwise, they get bored. And then the psychologists label them hyperactive, or, you know, or ADD or ADHD. And then they medicate them instead of meditating. And, you know, instead of teaching the kids yoga and martial arts in school, because martial arts is good for the children. I will show you. I will share some videos I was watching last night. And it's like, I know that some of the stuff is bizarre that they do overseas, like the type, like the monks, some of these things that they do, but I mean, they make them very strong, you know, like hanging from trees and like doing all kinds of things. So anyway, I just want to let you know where I've been, okay? So, woo! Okay, so when I lived in Panama, okay, and I was a child, I was very bold, very small child. But as I started growing and developing, I started changing and I started becoming not so extroverted, but part of it was because English was my second language and I didn't want to be speaking out loud in a language that I couldn't express myself very well. So I was always like not the smartest girl in school because of my English being my second language when I started Department of Defense schools. So when I started Department of Defense schools, I don't know why me out of all my siblings, like and this is not because I was hyperactive at this age. I was very mild at this age. I mean, this is why kids need to be involved in sports and such. But at this age, I was in the 5th and 6th grade when I started DOT school. I was already very mild and actually kind of shy because I didn't want to speak in a language I didn't speak very well. So I started as a listener in the 5th grade, even though I had already attended 5th grade in Panama, and they transferred me to the Department of Defense school. My first school was Corundu Junior High. Oh no, Corundu Elementary. This is where I met my friend Mercy, and where I met, she was younger than I by 1 year. I met my friends, and then they took some of the kids, they transferred them to another school, Balboa Elementary, because the Corundu Elementary was overcrowded. And I was one of them, and I had just literally started. And they switched me to another school. So, I mean, I maintained a friendship with my little international group of friends. One was from Asian descent. The other one is from Indian descent. And the others, we were all like the International House of Pancakes. But that's how I like it, because I fit right in. So anyway, when they changed me to Balboa Elementary, I met my other friend, Jessica. And at the end, well, no, that was at Diablo Elementary. Diablo means devil. They actually had a devil elementary school in Panama. But anyway, from Balboa Elementary, they said that we were overcrowded. And so they switched me to Diablo Elementary, and that's where I met my friend Jessica. And Jessica was like the smartest little girl in math, and I would sit next to her. But she was always like, zip, I'm done with my test. And she was also an ESL student. I was never good at math. That was never my forte. But my friend Jessica would be like, zip. And she was the first one to turn in her test every time, just about every time. And even though she was an ESL student. So I knew that math was a language that you don't even need, that you don't even need to know the native tongue, because that's an international or universal language. So when I was in Panama, still in a Panamanian school in the 5th grade, we were actually in chess class. We had a chess class, and I was chosen to be in a chess club. But make a long story short, we had a child from China who spoke hardly any Spanish, but he was like really smart in math. And this is, a lot of Asian people are smart in math, and this is why you have more Asian people and people from India and from Asia that are in the computers, because this is the universal language, but also music is the universal language. You can put a bunch of musicians from all parts of the world, and then just like they'll read the music, and they don't even have to speak the same language. So I think it's fascinating how we can get people together that like a Russian person and a Chinese person and a Korean person and an American person and a British person and a French person, an Italian person and Spaniard person, and all kinds of people in one room, and they can, like, they all probably speak English, because English is like the universal language, but you can get them all together and you can play music and they can dance, or they can read music and they can play, or they can just play chess, and they can solve a math problem. It's like they're not talking about war, and they're not talking about you're the enemy, we don't trust you. It's like, oh, when you have to solve the problem, solve it together. How do you expect to go up to Mars or to Uranus if you don't even know how to take care of your own Earth together without war? I'm sorry for shouting, but this is what musicians have known long ago. Musicians and people who dance and paint, they're not, fighting. No. But I'm a fighter. I like fighting because I learned that in the military. They teach you how to do the M16. So they said I was expert marksmanship. I don't know how I got that expert marksmanship. I really think it was the left-handed airmen. There were 4 left-handed airmen in my flight. It was like a big flight, right? And we were 4, and I think the girl next to me was shooting my target because I don't think so. But anyway, I just want to let you know who I am. I will kill the enemy with love. With love is a 4-letter word, L-O-V-E, for live, L-I-V-E, for life, L-I-F-E. And when I say mother suckers, it's because I can. Because I don't want to use the other 4-letter word. No. Because F is for Ephraim. For Joseph, the last will be the first. Ephraim. The end is a new beginning. M between the 3 and the 4. E-P-H-F. So I say suckers, because I can. Because I can. Because I will. Because you suck the life out of mothers with your wars. Yes, you leave the mothers without their babies, without their children that they birthed, and they changed their diapers, and they nursed, and they, took care of them all growing up, and then you send them to war for their country. And you're talking about going to Mars together? Well, how hypocritical is that? I want to know. I want to know, because Earth is the 4th planet, so it's not Mars. No, you've had it wrong all along, your calculations. Oh, because I'm not, I'm not what? I'm not what? I am your biblical whore? Not. I am not. Because when I was singing my song on Dove Lane, all I had to say was rainbow. And you were like, no, we don't want her talking about gay people. It's like, look, here, people are people. And I'm not gay, but I have a cousin who's gay, and I love him. I love him. And I knew he was gay before he knew he was gay. Okay? So, I have a nephew who's gay. I think that gay people are just like straight people. They're just people. They're not aliens, but we are all aliens because we're all emigrating from everywhere. In the to and from and the frantic. My country is a communist country. I've got to go to USA. I've got to go to USA to USA. Everybody can fit into the USA. You have to understand that Jerusalem is a blueprint for all cities and all nations. And you are capable of being the change you want to see in the world too. Yes. Yes, you are. You stand with courage and strength, and you speak to the rock, to the stone, to the transformed into a heart. You'll see. Between the 3 and the 4. Okay? Because that's the way it is. Because if I had not had Mahatma Gandhi and Albert Einstein and President Eisenhower and Maria Montessori and Dr. Martin Luther King with me, I would have never been able to decipher this. No. But for my 5 doves of peace. Yes. Woo! Hallelujah. And thank God for Jerusalem, not Peter, Satan, no. You know, and thank God, yes. Up to the right, Paul. I don't want to hear any shenanigans about, oh, Paul is a fake. I've heard you, some of you Jewish rabbi, talking negatively about Paul. Yes, you don't even know Paul. You listen to Paul and you will see he will transform your hearts of stone. Okay, between the 3 and the 4. Because you've always been on the inside, you Jews. You know better. You know. But God speaks to Judah. Read your Jeremiah 17 and then go all fast forward to Jeremiah 31. By the grace of God, we are not going to be, our teeth are not going to be set on edge because our parents ate the sour grapes. No, it's a new covenant and a new heart. You two Jews, okay? So listen to Paul. I don't want to hear you need to recognize. I will highlight it for you. This is my encapsulated truth inside of me since a long time ago, since 2001, when I was going through my divorce. It took 5 years in the state of Mississippi. And I did not want to leave the South because I did not want to leave Jacob behind. No, I could have been a stewardess or something. I was very sexy, mama. I lost all my weight. I got down to a size 0. Yes, I've got the pants to prove it. They're bull brutality right on the butt. That's what I named them. Yes, and I was going to the world gym, losing my weight. I don't want to hear that. Oh, I was a lazy fat nothing. No, that's why, you know, when I say the word bitch, it's like, she's not a messenger of God. It's like, well, I'm just letting you know that's how you speak. That's how you speak down here. Is it not? I used to not curse. No, I was a sweet young lady. You know, not a nerd, but people want to treat me like I'm a nerd. You know, it's like, okay, whatever, okay? Let us, if we must, recognize that we have evolved to walk upright. Some of you don't believe in evolution. It's like, no, we did not evolve from bacteria, Susan. We did not. We were created in the image of God. It's like, okay. So, we've been lifted upright. We are created in the image of God. From the beginning, the gift, this whole earth. So why are we going to Mars? I want to talk to NASA. Yes, because we need to recognize that I'm not going to put any of you out of your business, out of your job. No, because we need this country running. Yes, in producing, but we're not going to be neglecting our own earth. So the sooner we help with our God-given intelligence of math and science, which is not only to be utilized for going into outer space. No, I need your scopes down here, pay attention. I need your scopes down here. We have Google Earth. We very well know how polluted the Ganges are. Yes. The Ganges in India, and it is a very large body of water. Very large body of water. And their waters are water because it all goes around. I know it's beautiful in Hawaii. I will show you my friend from Hawaii. She's gorgeous. Okay? She is the ocean defender. And she has an organization. And you talk to her about it. She is all about the whales and the dolphins. And she is, this lady is beautiful. She's like a little mermaid, like a little fish, female fish. She is in the water taking beautiful photos. She is a beauty. Okay? You need to talk to her about defending the ocean to get some ideas about what we need to be doing with our scopes. Okay? I know you like looking at pretty women. Let us, go down in the water and look how pretty Hawaii is. We need to emulate the good. Why can't we restore the Ganges? And I know the Ganges is not the ocean, but whatever. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know that we have the technologies and the God-given intelligence with our math and science and our music to get it done. And yes, we will. Because Papa God is not going to let us go somewhere else to be polluting another planet and exploiting another planet the way we have here on Earth. So we got to prove to Papa God we know how to take care of our own business first before we go anywhere else. So I will highlight it for you. Thank you.